All right, so it's called section 02. We're still doing these conversion things. Remember yesterday I had those nice little boxes already pre-made and I just slid them over. Well, I didn't do that for today. All right, so I'm going to have to write them out. All right, so you write too. It's my second time writing this. It's only your first because I did this in another class. All right, so let's go through these. Again, we're converting not from metric to metric or English to English. We're converting from English to metric or from what? Metric to English. Good. All right. It's kind of, I always think of it as a bridge that goes from one to the other. I told my other class, I said, this is probably the only country where you teach this lesson because if you go in any other country, they only deal with metric. So what's the use of converting from an English system to a metric system because that's all they deal with is metric anyway, right? We're probably the only country. I think we make it harder on ourselves. Wouldn't you rather just do all metric and not worry about the English units? Yeah. Okay, but yeah, but we'd be the only country in the world, and then you gotta live in the world, and you gotta deal with how other countries in the world do things. So you'd have to do all that conversion, and that would be But there are some things where it is a lot better to be on the same page, and I think this is one of them. All right, let's go through this. We're going to go 1 inch. You know how big 1 inch is. Where's the ruler? Okay, here's the metric, or here's the yardstick. Here's the ruler. There's 1 inch right there. Everybody see that? So about that much. I know you can't see this on YouTube if you're watching it, but that's about 1 inch right there. And we want to convert that to centimeters. Well, let's do this. 1 inch is right there where my finger is, and if I move that around, it's about right there. I know it's kind of hard to see, but it's around where my finger is. It's between what and what? About 2 and 3. And so they round it to about 2.5. Technically, I've always learned at 2.54, but this book just says 2.5. Okay, it's approximately. So I really shouldn't have just equal signs here. What should this be? Kind of squiggly, right? Now I really made it ugly. But anyway, you get the idea. It's approximately 2.5 what? Not meters, centimeters. Right. So 1 inch is approximately, that is so ugly, I can't hardly stand it. I gotta, there we go. And let's see if I can make it any better. That's not much better. Who cares? We'll keep going. All right, so 1 inch is approximately 2.5 centimeters. It's pretty close. So what's bigger, an inch or a centimeter? An inch, right? Because 1 inch, it takes 2.5 centimeters. It takes 2.5 centimeters just to make 1 inch. All right. So an inch is bigger than a centimeter. Okay. It's actually more than twice as big as a centimeter. All right. Let's do some other ones. Let's do yards. So 1 yard is 0.9 meters. So we can use this meter stick again. 1 yard is 0.9 meters. So 0.9 is not quite 1, is it? All right, so 1 yard would be, this is not a yardstick. Actually, I have a yardstick in the closet, but we'll just do this. So right there, to where my hand ends, 36 inches. Okay, that's 1 yard right there. That's 0.9 meters. And look, right there, 36 inches. And it's approximately, it's not exactly. 36 inches is actually right there. That's about 91, isn't it? Okay, so it's not exactly, it's approximately 0.9 meters, right? Because 90 centimeters would be 0.9 meters. Are you with me on that? Would you agree? All right, so let's go on. So that's yards and meters. They're pretty close, but not quite. Yards or meters a little bit bigger than a yard. Let's do another one, a mile. Okay, this is a good conversion. 1 mile equals approximately, now I put an equal sign, but I should put a little squiggly thing. It's approximately 1.6 kilometers. 1.6 kilometers. 1 mile. Okay, so that's what it is in English. 1 inch, 1 yard, 1 mile. All right, and that's what the metric is compared to the English system. We could go the other way. I could go 1 centimeter. This is from English to metric. This is going to go from metric to English. Okay, so 1 centimeter. Watch, how can I get rid of that 2.5 and make that a 1? I could divide. So if I go 1 divided by 2.5, I'll get approximately 0.4. Actually, I'll get exactly 0.4 inches. But these are all approximations, okay? They're close, but not exact. So 1 centimeter is about 0.4 inches. How did I do that? I took 1 divided by 2.5 and I got 0.4. That's how I got that thing right there. Okay? Does that make any sense to you? So if I want to find out what 1 centimeter is, I got to get rid of the 2.5. How do I do that? I divide both sides by 2.5. So 1 divided by 2.5, or yeah, 2.5 is 0.4. We good? All right. Let's keep going. 1 meter this time. So I want to find 1 meter is, now look at this. This whole stick right here is a meter. How many inches approximately? Okay, about 39. And so it's 36 inches and a little bit more. So it's a little more than a yard, isn't it? So what they say, they just go 1 divided by 0.9, and they say that's about 1.1 yards. 1.1 yards. And then the next one would be kilometers. So 1 kilometer is equal to about 0.6 miles. I think I said that yesterday. Did I talk about that yesterday? I said about 6/10 of a mile, and that's what they said right there, 0.6. I don't have a lot of these memorized. I do have this one. 1 inch is 2.5, or I used to say 2.54 centimeters. I had that memorized a lot. I don't think I would have had that memorized or this one, but I could always figure out what these are, because you just take 1 divided by 2.5, 1 divided by 0.9, 1 divided by 1.6, and you'll get these numbers right here. All right, so there you go. I'm not going to ask you to memorize all these things. If I give these to you on a quiz or a test or something, I'll write them out for you or something like that. But you need to have those in your notes, because when I give you your paper for your homework tonight, you won't have any of this stuff on there. Okay, so have them in your notes so you can refer to it, and then it's really easy. Now watch. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work with this and actually do a conversion, actually convert something, and it's very similar to what we did yesterday. So if you understood what we did yesterday, this shouldn't be a problem at all. All right, let's do this. Let's go 30 inches. All right. So 30 inches, oops, I'm not going to put that in there first, is equal to how many, what do they do, centimeters they go. Make it easy. All right, 30 inches equals how many centimeters? So what's the first thing we do? We put 30 inches, and what do you do with that? Well, put it over 1 first, okay? And now we times it by something, okay? We got inches on top, so what do we put the inches? On the bottom, so they cancel out. Did you do that every time when you did the homework last night? Okay, good. So we're going to change it from inches to centimeters, so we put centimeters on the top. Now, do we have a conversion? Sure, we could either use this one or this one. It doesn't matter which one we use. Okay, what do you think you want to use? I kind of like the one on the bottom. So if I go 1 inch, how many centimeters? 2.5. Now, I could have done it this way. I could have put 0.4 inches, but then what would I have to put up top? A 1. Good. Do you see that? All right, I could have used either one of these, but it definitely matters where you put those particular numbers. I did it like this because I figured I'll just do a straight up multiplication. Watch, the inches cancel out. Okay, the ones, they don't really do anything for us, do they? So what do we do with that 30 and that 2.5? Multiply them together, and I believe you get what, 75? Anybody got a calculator on?
Yeah, 75.
Good. So it's 75 centimeters, just like that. All right. Questions on that? Pretty simple. Kind of the same stuff we did yesterday, isn't it? All right. Hardly any different at all. Let's do another one. Let's do kilometers this time. So 5 kilometers, and we're going to change that to miles. That's a very common conversion that people want to do, all right? Because people use kilometers and miles interchangeably quite a bit, so we need to be able to go from one to the other. Like you go to Canada, and you're going to say, you're going to cross the border into like Niagara Falls or whatever, and you're going to see a sign that says whatever, or you're going to see Toronto, then you're going to see a number next to it. But that number represents what? Not how many miles, but what? How many kilometers. And if you're interested in finding out how many miles, you could always do the conversion, couldn't you? All right, so let's do this. So how many miles? So 5 kilometers. I always put that over 1. Ooh, that K's ugly. All right, and what do we do? Put kilometers down here on the bottom. Do we have a conversion between kilometers and miles? We sure do. And which one do you want to use? I'll tell you what, let's just be a little different. Let's put the 1 up here this time. We could do it the other way around if we wanted to, but let's just be different. All right, so if we put the 1 mile, what am I going to have to put down here on the bottom? 1.6, right. I'm going to have to put 1.6 kilometers. Do you see that? Because 1 mile equals 1.6 kilometers. But now it's not multiplication. What is it? It's division. It's 5 divided by 1.6 because 1.6 is on the bottom. That means we're going to divide. Does it make sense? All right. So somebody do that. What do you get? About 3.1, is that what you said? Okay, we'll just say 3.1. So about 3.1 miles. Anybody run cross country in here? Not one cross country runner in here? Okay. Well, that's not going to count. Cross country, all right? The reason I'm saying cross country is because when they run a cross country meet, everybody runs a 5K. And you hear that all the time. What's the K stand for? Kilometers, right. 5,000 or 5 kilometers is what they run, a 5K. How many miles is a 5K? Like 3.1, right. And we just did it right there, didn't we? Okay, we used our conversion and we figured it out, and sure enough, it's 3.1 miles. So when those guys run cross country, they're running a little more than 3 miles in their race. All right? All right, let's pause this and we'll go to another one. All right, here's a new section right here. This deals with capacity. They use the word in the book capacity, but we say volume. Okay, I like to say volume. So here it is. 1 quart is 0.9 liters. You know how much a liter is. We talked about that already, right? Go to 7-Eleven, get that big slam. You know what a liter is. So a quart is just a little bit less than 1 full liter. Well, 1 pint is approximately half a liter. Okay, not exactly, but approximately half a liter. And if you go the other way, 1 liter is 1.1 quarts, and 1 liter is 2.1 pints. Okay, again, these are all approximations. And so let's do an example. Let's go 7 quarts. That's supposed to be a Q. And it looks like a P, doesn't it? That's terrible. That's a quart. That's a little bit better. Okay, 7 quarts, and we're going to change this to liters. Find out how many liters that is. All right? So let's do it. 7 quarts, put it over 1. And then we got quarts on top, quarts on the bottom. We're going to change it to liters, so we put liters on the top. Do we have a conversion? We sure do. All right, doesn't matter which one you use. I'm going to put the 1 quart on the bottom and the 0.9 liters on the top. It's probably easy to do it that way, isn't it? Because I can do this in my head. I don't even need a calculator for this, do I? So what's 7 times 9? What is it? 63, right? But this is a 0.9, so what do? Move it to the left, so what do you get? 6.3. 6.3 what? Liters. Make sure you label it, okay? 6.3 liters, as simple as that. Yes, sir?
Can you just times 7 by 0.9?
Yeah, but I'm just trying to do it in my head. Do you really do 7 times 0.9 in your head? I do 7 times 9, then move the decimal. Well, I'm trying to get you to do it in your head, not on a calculator. That's the point. Trying to get you to get away from the calculator when you don't need it. There are times when you need it. There's times when I use a calculator, all right? But on something like this, did you really need a calculator on this? No. So I'm trying to get you to think a little bit, all right, and not be lazy and use our brain a little bit instead of using machines all the time. I love machines. I love technology, but I like my brain better. All right, so here's our conversions for mass. I've got them up here. 1 ounce is 28.3 grams. 1 pound, that's a LB for pound. 0.5 kilograms. 1 gram is 0.04 ounces. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. Again, I'm not asking you to memorize these things, but they're there for your reference. All right, so let's do an example, and we'll be finished. So let's go 58.5 kilograms, and we want to change that to, oops, there goes my poster. And we want to find out how many pounds is that. All right? So what do? 58.5 kilograms. Put that over 1. Kilograms on the bottom. Pounds on the top. Can we go directly from pounds to kilograms? Sure. There's pounds and kilograms right here. So what are you going to do? I'm going to go 2.2 pounds, aren't you? I like to keep everything on the top if you can. And then 1 kilogram. So 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. All right? Let me see something. Okay. And what do we do here? Just multiply that together. Now, on this problem, sure, go ahead and use your calculator on that. And you get about 128.7. Is anybody going to remind me about my time? But don't wait 5 seconds before. I saw it, though. Okay, here we go. 128.7 pounds, and that's how many pounds? That many kilograms, okay? Everybody with me on that? All right. Let me pause. All right. Okay, so there it is. There's section 02. I'll give you the worksheet that's due tomorrow. And make sure you refer to the YouTube if you need it tonight. Okay. Everybody say bye.
Bye.